Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome. Good morning. Welcome to another Good Morning Grief devotional. It's your boy, Pastor Corey Allen Duncan Sr., and I'm so happy and excited to have this opportunity to lead you in another grief devotional on today. This is the daily grief devotional that is strategically designed to help you to navigate through your grief one day at a time. You ask what grief is? I'm so glad you asked. Grief, my brothers and sisters, it is the natural and normal response to loss, change, and transition that results in the expressions of feelings and emotions. Grief is what you feel on the inside. Mourning is how it is expressed on the outside. Therefore, we don't suppress it, but we address it and we express it. And that's why we say good morning, because morning is a good thing. I want to welcome you today to another grief devotional. I hope and pray that your week has been well. And I don't know where you are on your grief journey right now, but we are here to help you to navigate, to help you to take a small step, to help you to mourn actively so that you can navigate through your grief journey meaningfully. So thank you for being with us. Today is day 153. I told you we are committed this entire year to go 365 days of walking alongside of you to help you with the grief that you are experiencing in your life. And so we are committed to giving you tools, tips, techniques, and takeaways through this devotion to help you to heal and become a better version of yourself. So thank you for joining us, y'all. Without further ado, let's dare to prepare to jump into our lesson for today. Today's grief quote comes from Andre Guide. Andre Guide, who says, "It is now in this world that we must live. It is now in this world that we must live. It is now in this world that we must live." Today is day 153. We're going to talk about you must live. You must live. You must live. Let's talk about it. Some days we hate this truth. We hate this truth. After all, this is the world in which people die. This is the world lacking the person we love. We hate this world sometimes. Y'all, that is so true when you start to think about this world. This is the world where we experience loss, change, and transition. This is the world where people die. This is the world where we lose and now we lack the persons that we love. And so sometimes we don't even want to be a part of this world, or there's so much pain that is associated with this world. That's why even when people die, we'll say, that they're going to a place where there's no more tears and no more pain and no more dialysis and no more medicine and no more suffering, because we understand the difference between the world that we evolve into or transition into versus the world that we are subjected to down here, right? That what we walk into over there is far greater than what we experience down here. And because of that, sometimes we have tendencies of looking at this world with the side eye. We have tendencies of focusing on this world with the side eye, right? And so, we have tendencies of doing that. So sometimes, as the devotion says, we hate this world sometimes. We hate this world sometimes, right? But Andre Gide won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1947. So I suppose he knows what he's talking about, right? Notice his use of the word must, right? He says in this quote, "It is now in this world that we must live," right? Notice his use of the word must. He's saying that we don't have a choice, that we have to live now in this world. Even though this is the world that took away our loved ones, even though this world is filled with so much pain and sorrow, he is saying it is now in this world that we must live. I want y'all to see it from a different perspective. It says, "Yet I noticed there's another way of reading his admonition. He could also be encouraging us to truly live, not just survive, right? But to truly live, that we must live." Oftentimes what happens is when we're going through grief and mourning and someone has died and transition, y'all, we say it like a part of us died too, right? Mariah Carey in her song "We Belong Together," she says, "When you left, I lost a part of me," right? And so when people leave, we like lose a part of us, or we say a part of us died on that day as well, right? And I think what he's trying to articulate in this quote is that even though we stay or we're existing or continuing in this world that's filled with pain, that's filled with sorrow, that's void of the people we love, that we still ourselves must live, that we still must truly live, right? And not just survive, but really and truly live. Because this is what you got to understand. Even though our loved ones have transitioned, this is what you got to know. There's still more chapters to be written in the book of your life. There are still more miles to be traveled in the journey of your life. That your life has not concluded. You cannot die while you're yet still alive. Did you hear what I said? You cannot die while you are yet still alive because you're not done. That's why grieving and mourning is so important, because you want to navigate through this journey because you still got more life to live. You still got more sunsets to see. You still got more trips to take. You still got more love to give. You still got more days ahead of you. You still got more laughter. You still got more fellowship. You still there are some things that are still ahead of you, right? That you still would get the opportunity to take full advantage of. And that's why you got to have the mindset that I must live, that I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to throw in the towel, right? I'm not going to allow this moment to dictate the rest of my life, right? That I'm still going to live. I need to get to the point to where I can still maximize the life that God has given me, right? There is still more for you to do. There's still more for you to explore, right? If you lost a spouse, and I know some of you have the desire, some of you don't have desire. Guess what? You will love again. You will love again, right? That you will love again. You can have companionship again. And depending on where you are in your journey, for some of you, that's not your desire. For some of you, it may be too early. For some of you may not be able to imagine it right now. But if you desire it, right? You got to understand that you got to continue to live, right? You got to continue. You must live because life has not stopped. You just hit a speed bump. You just hit a bump in a road. You just gone through a season. You're just navigating through a crisis. But I'm letting you know that your life is not over. And it's hard to see now. Everything may be cloudy right now because the pain is so intense that you may not be able to see or imagine a life outside of the person that transitioned. Or you may not be able to imagine you being happy again, or smiling again, or living again, or loving again. And I'm telling you, you must live. When you go from grieving to mourning, when you don't allow yourself to be stuck, when you navigate through it, you'll find yourself back in the position where you are moving. You're not moving on without them, but you're moving forward with them, right? And so there's still more experiences for you to have. There's still more joy for you to have. There's still more happiness for you to have. There's still more life for you to live, right? There's still more love for you to give. There's still more for you to explore. And that's what he means when he says, you must live. I know it's hard to see it. I know it's hard to understand it. I know it's hard to comprehend it, but you must live. Check this out. He says, yet I notice there's another way of reading this admonition. He could also be encouraging us to truly live, not just survive. We must live. That life is a miraculous opportunity, right? Life is a miraculous opportunity. Yes, I think I will choose to agree with him. on that score today. Final thought, I am in this world. I am in this world this day, and so I will live it. I am in this world this day, and so I will live it. Y'all, life is a miraculous opportunity. There's still more traveling for you to do. There's still more waters for you to swim in. There's still more experiences for you to have. There's still more food for you to try. There's still more sights for you to see. There's still more life for you to live, right? The God came that you might have life and have it more abundantly, right? And the loss, the change, the transition that you're going through now in your life, it wasn't designed um, to kill you while you were still living, right? Yeah, life happens. We go through crisis. We navigate through crisis. We grieve. We mourn. We pick up the pieces, right? We heal. We continue to go on our journey and we move and we navigate through. And in the midst of all that, y'all, we continue to live. We continue to live. We continue to live. We continue to live. We continue to live the life that God desires for us to live. I don't want you to give up. I don't want you to give up on life. I don't want you to give up on God. I don't want you to give up on happiness. I don't want you to give up on living and loving. I don't want you to give up on creating new minutes, moments, memories. I don't want you to give up on the friends, the family, the fellowship, the fun. I don't want you to I don't want you to give up on none of that. You must live. And if anything else, y'all, death should make you aware, right, of time. Death should make you aware of the importance of living your life to the fullest. Death should make you aware that now is the time and this is the opportunity for you to live. Come on. I hope you got it. Today is day 153. We're talking about how you must live. You must live. You must live. You must live. Questions, comments, questions, comments. What y'all got for me today? Questions, comments, questions, comments. You cannot die while you still alive. Ain't that it? You can't do it. You cannot die while you still alive. You cannot do it. You cannot do it. And life will try to push you in those places and spaces. Life will try to put you in a place to where not only did it take the life of your loved one, but it'll try to take your life while you still living. No, you got to be determined more than ever. I will live. Like I'm gonna live. I'm gonna navigate through this, but I'm gonna live. I'm going to enjoy life. I'm going to live. I'm going to love. I'm going to live. Facebook user says it feels unbearable at times after bearing my only son. It's been just shy of 2 years. Some days are good. Some days just set me back to the day he was murdered. Then I feel guilty sometimes for attempting to move on. Absolutely. Thank you so very much for sharing this. This is the truth, right? Grief is not linear. There's no step one, step two, step three, you're done, right? It's filled with twists and turns. It's filled with ups and downs. It's like a roller coaster, as Nikisha told us yesterday. And so there are some good days, right? There are some good days, and then there are some setbacks, right? It's all a part of the journey. It's all a part of the journey. But when you don't just grieve, when you mourn, when you put some motion to your mourning, and you continue to navigate through it, right? Then that's what you do. And I see you say you feel guilty sometimes attempting to move on. And this is the thing: it's not that you um, it's not that you move on without them, right? You're moving forward with them because they are a part of you. They are a piece of you, right? And so you take them wherever you go. And um, definitely you go through that season of feeling guilty, right? Sometimes we have They say survivor's remorse. And sometimes we like, man, it should have been me and not them. So we feel guilty for surviving while they have transitioned. And that's where grief and counseling and all of that stuff comes in, to work through, to process everything that you feel, everything that you're going through. You process that, you feel, you reveal, you don't suppress, you express, you get those things out so that you can successfully navigate through your grief journey, right? And so you definitely want to do that, and you definitely want to put yourself in a position to where you can heal, and you develop the mindset that I'm not moving on without him, but I am moving forward with him, right? And so you do the work, right? Do the work, and you navigate through that to help you to be a better version of yourself. Praying for you, Facebook user. Thank you for sharing that comment. Yvette says, I'm struggling to live. I'm existing, but small steps lead to great distances. There you go. You said it yourself. Small steps most definitely lead to great distances. Small steps lead to great distances. And it is a journey that you navigate through. It's a journey, right? It is a journey that you navigate through as you adopt new normals and you attempt to figure this thing out. How do I move on with my life without you in my life, right? You begin to navigate through and do the work so that you can. It's definitely a struggle. By no means is it easy, right? And so, yeah, that's good. I love it. Not moving on with moving forward with them. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Keep repeating that. It's so good. It's exhausting. The constant thinking and wanting my mother is always on my mind. Absolutely. Right? It's something that will be on your mind. Hey, Miss Stansberry, and I want to encourage you, right, to continue. I want to make sure everybody understands the power of mourning. Understand the difference between grief and mourning, right? Because when we grieve, remember we feel, but when we mourn, we reveal. So a lot of times we get stuck in grief because we feeling, but we not revealing. We're not actively mourning. There's no motion attached to our mourning. So we don't have creative spaces for us to articulate or to reveal, how we're feeling, or there are no actions. There has to be action, right, as we navigate through that season to help us so we don't end up stuck. But it's definitely exhausting. Stay in the fight. Stay in the fight, my sister. We're going to navigate through. We're going to get through it. Hey, Tracy, yep, definitely a struggle. It is definitely a struggle. It's definitely a struggle. The more you navigate through it. I know like you on your fitness journey, and you were doing big things, right? And I can imagine when you started out on your fitness journey, perhaps it was a struggle to walk a mile, right? Perhaps it was a struggle to do a push up. But as you continue to embrace the chase of the journey, you found yourself where you couldn't walk a mile. Now you're knocking out 5. You couldn't do a push up. Now you're doing 50 with no hesitation, right? Because it's just like anything else. The more we do it, the more engaged we do it, the more we're active, the more we navigate through it, the more there's action. Y'all, the things that we once struggled in, we find ourselves gaining strength, right? The things that we once struggled in, now we find ourselves, when we actively mourn, we're gaining strength, which help us to navigate through the journey. And that's why I always say that we have to be active. There has to be action. We got to not just grieve, but we got to mourn. I know it's a struggle. That's why we got to make sure we're not just grieving, we're mourning. And the more we mourn, the more we attach motion to it, the more we actively mourn, right? We begin to get strength in the areas in which we once struggled, right? So let's stay in the fight. Facebook user says, I'm glad I opened myself up to another relationship after I lost my husband at 2019. Absolutely. And it takes time. It takes healing. It takes vulnerability to get over well, not to get over it, but to really deal with it, right? And to be open to the possibility of loving again. And so I'm so glad you did. And I hope and pray you got everything you need and desire Somebody text, Pastor, do you think survivor's guilt is a trick of the enemy and attempting to keep people from living? I think it can be. I think it is something that happens um, emotionally, cognitively, right? I think sometimes, I mean, it can be. It can turn into that. But I think sometimes when we were, whether depending on the nature of the situation, a mother is always fighting, Lord, take me instead. Like, let it be me. If you got to take somebody, let it be me. So a lot of times we feel guilty. I've seen children who well, not that, but a lot of times we feel guilty, right? Because we survived and they didn't, or should have been us and not them, right? Or so we go through that, right? And that's one of those things we gotta put ourselves in a place and space to process our feelings, to navigate through our feelings, to process our feelings, to get a clear understanding of what we feel and how we feel, and the space to be able to share and articulate that. But I think the enemy can and will use that against you to try to, push you into a place that you don't want to be. So yeah, I do think that's possible. Any more questions or comments? Y'all talking to today, that's good. I appreciate it. Any more questions or comments? I want to encourage you to live. I want to encourage you to live. I want to encourage you to live. Your life is not over. There's still more chapters in the book of your life. There's still more miles, the journey of your life. There's still more for you to explore, right? Of course, we're going to navigate through this. Of course, we're going to allow God to help us. We're feeling the pain. We're navigating through it. I want to encourage you to live. Encourage you to live. You are so very welcome, Tracy. I want to encourage you to live. Go to the concert. I'm gonna call. I'm gonna call out Tracy. Go to the concert. Right? I've been talking to Gisette. Go to the concert. One thing that she gonna do? Oh, she gonna go. If don't nobody else won't go, she gonna go. Right? So Janet Jackson, New Edition, she gonna go. She gonna live. Right? Even in the midst of her grief, even in the midst of her mourning, right? And so I want to encourage you, y'all. I want to encourage you to live. You will love again. You will live. You will laugh, right? You will. I want to encourage you to live. Mourn, grieve, go through the process. Do what you got to do. Go through the process so that on the other end you can, right? You can navigate through the journey, and you navigate through it without losing yourself, right? You navigate through without losing you. There it is. You navigate through without losing you. You navigate through without losing you too. Come on, because you just you lost a loved one. I know you did. And that's why you got to navigate through this journey. You navigate through without losing you too. You navigate through without losing you too, right? Somebody put that in the chat. You navigate through without losing you too, because there's still more chapters in the book of your life. And so you must live. I must live. Write that in the chat too. I must live. You navigate through without losing you too. I must live. I must live. It's so very important. So very important. So very important. So very important. All right. I hope you got it in your heart. Hope you got it in your mind. Hope you got it in your spirit. Hope you have a phenomenal weekend. There you go. I must live. Hope you have a phenomenal Friday and a wonderful weekend. Choose to live, right? Choose to live. Navigate through without losing you too. I love y'all with the love of the Lord. I'll see y'all tomorrow, 8 a.m. Same bat channel, same bat station. Let's go.
Good morning. Good morning.